Yo, what is up? All right, so I have an update video here about Bleak Faith. So, I've made a few videos about this game over the past few days. Now, this game is an indie game by three developers that come out, and of course, internet people are gonna internet, and they're gonna be negative about everything, and maybe rightfully so. I'm not here to judge whether, you know, it's right or not, but I'm not here to defend the company, or I'm not sponsored by them. I don't have any association with them. But there were some assets, some animation assets in the game that apparently were stolen. Basically, they're very similar to Dark Souls, or I think one of the animations may have been Millennia from Elden Ring. And the developers, if you don't know, Epic Game Store for developers, like, they're using Unreal Engine 4, which is, from Epic, and they actually have an asset store. So if you're building a game using Unreal Engine, you can go in there and purchase assets. You could purchase music, animations, art. Like if you wanted to build a character, you could basically build like a character model or purchase character models, whatnot. And this seems to be the case with what happened with this game, Bleak Faith. So they put out an update on Twitter. They've been upfront about every little controversy as far as like using the AI art for some of the stuff. Some people were upset about it. Why? I have no idea. Who cares? AI, uh, whether it's art or whatever, just AI in general, is the future of computing and probably our world, if you think about it. I mean, machine learning is definitely the future of computing and whatnot. So I don't know what people will get upset, like, oh, you know, took an artist and didn't let him have a job. Yeah, well, it's three people with a very small budget, probably out of their own pocket. Irregardless, they put out a statement about the animation asset issue, and they purchased this from Epic Game developer store. I don't know what it is referred to. I'll put up here on the screen. You can see where you can buy different assets, animations, whatnot. I'll link it if you want to go check it out for yourself. But you can see, and they actually purchased some of these animations, like the weapon art animations and stuff, for some of the bosses that happened to be stolen assets. So when they contacted Epic about this situation, the response Epic gave was pursuant to marketplace distribution agreement, each marketplace seller represents and warrants to Epic that they have appropriate rights to upload their content. As with any store that hosts third party content, however, Epic is not in a position to independently verify such rights, and Epic makes no such guarantee to purchasers of the content. So essentially, they state they cannot verify the copyright of the animation packages purchased through their store. This is not satisfactory for us, being the developers of Bleak Fate, and so we have taken the decision to replace the assets purchased from the store over the next several days. Certainly, this has been a huge lesson for us, again, the developers of Bleak Fate, and hopefully for other indie creators out there that are using assets, on these storefronts as well, because most of them, as they mentioned, are seemingly, shouldn't be purchased or can't be purchased in good faith, because you could purchase something that maybe you think looks cool. Maybe it does look like something from a Dark Souls game, or, Elden Ring or Demon Souls, whatever it may be. Maybe, something that looks similar. Maybe they're a fan of the games, obviously, because this, Bleak Faith definitely reminds me of Dark Souls 1 a little bit. I think of Bloodborne, and I would say Demon Souls, I think, were the three that I get vibes from. If I'm going to say Souls like, those are going to be the three games that I think of when I think of Bleak Faith. And so it says basically, back to work we go. Again, thank you for bringing the issue to our attention and helping us improve the game. And of course you're gonna have people, oh, since when did FromStar start selling Elden Ring animations on the Epic Game Store? They didn't. Someone else did. Someone, took that and put it up as their own. And as the developers of Bleak Faith mentioned, and with the response from Epic, look, we can't verify every single animation, and that makes sense because I'm sure there are thousands and maybe hundreds of thousands of different animation sets, and there's no way to know, you know did FromSoft do they have a patent for certain animations? Like, I don't know. There's only probably so many ways you can have, certain effects, like in a game like Bleak Faith, basically, a sword animation, a weapon art animation. I mean, yeah, sure, you could, move differently, but a lot of games that are, in this Soulsborne genre of games, a lot of the animations look similar. Not all of them. I mean, of course, you can add different little effects and stuff to the animation, colors and whatever, sparks and fireworks and sprites, whatever. You can add all this different stuff to make them appear different. But for the most part, if you were to break down the actual animation, like the movement of the character, a lot of them look similar. I mean, of course, when you're looking at an animation in a game, like a weapon art animation, whatever gear they're wearing, whatever, the enemy or whoever you are fighting against that uses this animation, of course, that's going to make it possibly look a little bit different because it's not going to be the same exact boss. I think like the developers of Bleak Faith, I think they probably are doing what a lot of other small developers are doing and purchasing assets that maybe they don't have the manpower to create on their own or the time to create it. Even big time publishers or game developers use this. And I will use the Callisto Protocol as an example. I've beat that game several times, and the first time I played through it, I watched the entire ending credits. They were over 10 minutes long. I was actually recording the ending to make some videos on, and I recorded the entire credits. And if you look at all the companies that helped bring this game together, whether they, you know, physically or manually, helped develop the Callisto Protocol, or they are just, the developers of, some sort of graphical effect or some sort of animation that the Callisto Protocol used, they purchased it from these developers or, licensed it, or whatever may be the case, then, if AAA titles or, developers are doing this, obviously small developers are going to have to do it as well. But one thing about the developers of Bleak Faith, they are being very upfront and open about a lot of stuff, including the AI art that people seemingly were upset about for whatever reason. I don't know. The animations for some of the bosses where, like I said, the one that people were pointing out a lot was the Melina one, like the back step that Melina does. And I did see that in the fight. Like I, have gotten that far in the game. I honestly didn't pay it no attention or didn't make me think of Melina when I seen it. But then like when I seen people point it out, I was like, yeah, it looks similar, but didn't make me think of Melina. Like, and I don't think there was any, like, I don't think they had any evil intention of doing that. I think they're just fans and, whatever. They purchased an asset they thought looked cool and, gave it that Souls-like vibe, and they've apologized for it. What more do you want? Like it is a small, and I'm not saying just because it's three people that they should be able to do what they want. I'm just saying, like, I think that they, acted in good faith as far as the, they purchased something thinking that they could use it. And then of course, you got all these internet detectives that want to complain about every little thing online, which rightfully so. I mean, yeah, it's fine to call out things that you think may be wrong. And the developers agreed with it because they addressed it. They got up here and addressed it. Where we see other companies that do things like, say, Bethesda, you look at Fallout 76, they give some crazy statement about, oh, well, there's a shortage of canvas, so we sent, or was it nylon? I think it was canvas. Yeah, there was a shortage of canvas, so we sent nylon bags instead. Okay, now you're a multi-million dollar company, maybe billion-dollar company, and this is what you do. And then you got three developers that they're posting right on Twitter Monday morning saying, hey, we apologize, we're going to fix it, and we'll have it out, we'll have it fixed in the next couple of days. So kudos to the guys working on Bleak Faith. I hope to see this game improve. It has a long ways to go. little things like this that are getting addressed. And then it has some major issues like with gameplay and some other bugs, and they have been squashing a lot of those. You're definitely passionate about this game, and it's good to see. It's refreshing because I get tired of paying $70 for games that, from these multi-million slash billion dollar companies, and we're having to wait 6 months to a year for them to fix things after I've invested a ton of money in it. And then you have a small company like this or a small development team like this that are working on things on day one. I mean, I play a lot of Fallout 76. You can look at my Steam profile. I have 1,000 hours on PC on Fallout 76, and there are bugs in this game, some of them game breaking, some of them just annoying, that have been there since launch in 2018. So is what it is. That's just my take on this, and just putting this out there for those of you maybe that are upset about like the AI art or the animations. Maybe you've seen something online and you're thinking twice about purchasing the game. If you're thinking twice about purchasing Bleak Faith, don't do it because of the animation or the AI art. Do it because the game has some bugs that some people may find annoying. And when I do my full review later this week, once I finish the game, I'll talk about all that. That's the video for today. I'm out.